Hola familia, this week we are going to make a new tool. As lately I'm working in some small boxes and the Christmas ornaments and all these things, and I wonder that if I can make a set of tools that are useful for these tiny projects or pieces, right? So I went to Harbor Freight and I bought a quick release bead holder set. It's about $3.95 or something like that. Then I also bought a drill bit set. I mean, this is a power bit set. Even being colors, it's not aluminum. This is S2 steel. So it's hard, and I think we can bend a couple of them to have the hollow tools, and then re-harden it to make them to keep to keep the sharp as long as we can. We'll see it. Then we are going to use a copper coupling to make the handle. All the process you're going to see it in a minute. And before anybody asks, the t-shirts, I'm working on it. We will talk about it in another moment because I don't have it available. I'm just make this for an example. So we will talk about soon. Okay, let's go to do a new tool for our arsenal.
Well, we are going to begin by fixing our drill bit on the vise, and then using the torch we're going to make it hot until it gets red, when it's going to be easier to bend the bit. I discovered you can use several different ways to do that, and the first one I did it with the pliers, but I discovered that the easiest and more accurate way is to use a tube, right? And then we have to get in mind that the flat part of the hexagon have to be facing down to have stability when we get our tool on the tool rest. Okay. Well, next I'm changing my CVN wheels for aluminum oxide wheels. I'm gonna rough shape the edge or the profile of the tool. I'm going to use the same angle that I use in my scrapers, which is about in between 15 and 20 degrees. And then we have to roughly shape it, and you have to take in mind that the top part has to be flat until the middle of the tool, because until the widest part of the tool, because if not, the edge is not gonna cut on the sides, just at the front. So you can do it either on the grinder, or you can use a hand grinder like I'm using here with the disc, until you get that profile. This is absolutely needed to have a nice sharp edge. Okay, and then it's just a matter of prepare all of them, rough shape, and then we are ready for the next step. Actually, as you can see there, I have a Tupperware with water. It's not needed because I'm gonna temper it again, but it's needed for the fingers, actually. And as you can see, the bent ones are a little bit more challenged because the engine of the grinder is in the middle of the way, but with a little bit of imagination. And this one, you need to use the side of the wheel a little bit, but it's nothing that we cannot, you know, it's no big deal. And there you have it. Okay, once we do that, we go to the lathe and we're going to prepare the handle. First of all, of course, wear a full face shield. Then we rough turn the wood piece we are going to use, and I'm going to use a pin jaws, so I'm going to prepare the tenon on one side. Even if I don't make the complete cylinder, it doesn't matter, I will finish it in a minute. So once this is done, I can remove the live center from the chuck. Okay, here we go. Now, this is needed because we have to drill the hole where the quick release bit is gonna be. So, a little bit more shape. And now become the more tricky part. We have to measure the widest part of the hexagon on the bottom, and then the depth, but discounting the movement of the blue part on the top, because if not, it's not gonna work. So we make the first hole with the full depth, and then we have to measure the widest part of the bit. You will see it right here, and get the depth needed. You see that is two sizes, so we have to take that in mind. And we are ready to put again a live center, and we are gonna make the tenon where the coupler or the copper coupling the copper coupling is gonna be. Okay, so we measure that with the caliper and double check it because it never fits. I don't know how I do that, but it is no problem. It's always a little bit oversized. Now we have it, but I need a little bit more depth. So no problem, I take it out. I take it out and provide a little bit more depth. This is not difficult. A little bit more, here we go. Then when we get the coupling there, is the perfect moment to have a file and finish the top of the tool flush with the wood and soft to the touch, so we cannot have a scratch on our hands if we pass a finger over there, so we can leave it smooth right now. And once that is done, the rest is a matter of shape it as you prefer, and depending, I mean, I always take care of size of my hands, and you know, everybody will have his own way to do the handle. And it's a handle, it's a tool, but it doesn't matter, it doesn't mean that we cannot make it beautiful. So I will add some texturing and some burning lines to make it, I mean, pleasant to the I mean, it's something that we're going to have in our hands all the time, but why don't make it beautiful? Now I'm polishing the copper as well to make it shine. And here the texturing tool. This is a Wagner texturing tool. And then I'm gonna add some lines with a point tool and burn it. A little bit more sanding and we are ready to apply the finish. In my case, I'm gonna apply my homemade friction polish. It will protect the wood and, you know, it's beautiful. And we are ready to cut it out. Here you can see I hope you can see the pattern that the texturing tool is. It's not no big deal, but I mean, why not? A little bit of finish on the bottom, and we are ready to insert our quick release bit. The thing is, as it's hexagonal on the bottom, I'm gonna use thick CA, liberal amount on the bottom, so it will fit well, and when the glue cures, it's not gonna go anywhere. And as you can see, I leave the space enough to the blue tip can move to lock the tool in place. Now comes the tricky part for me, because I didn't do this before. I have to temper the tools again. So it's a matter of bring them to the bright red point and then insert them in oil. I'm using car oil, so I think it's gonna work. And at the beginning I did it, as you can see, holding the bit by hand, but then I decided that I can hold the torch to the bench and then use the bench vise, and it works much better and it's more comfortable. So next step, a little bit of clean. I clean it with some steel wool to get rid of any carbon, dirty or whatever. And then there is a step that I didn't show, that I'm not going to show on the video, which is get it to the oven for about an hour at 400 degrees and then let them cold without use anything else. And almost the final step is to mount a steel wire disc on the lathe. If you used your Jacob's chuck on the lathe, you need to use a threaded rod with a wing nut in the other side to prevent that the Jacob's chuck can fly away. And then a cleaning and a final sharpening. Here we go. I'm using again the aluminum oxide because this is carbon steel and I don't want to use it on the CBN wheels. So to touch it, no problem, but to shape it, I prefer to use these wheels. In the other hand, I have it just on the shelf, so, and I protect a little bit my CBN wheels that are not cheap, by the way. Okay, that's it, what I want to share. Here you have the final tool. As you can see, I make bent tools can work in normal or in reverse motion. I hope you like it. If you have any questions, just leave the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to help the channel, here you have a link to my Patreon. That's it for this week. Thank you very much and see you soon.